Pacific region. Now, we'll get the Republican perspective in a moment, but first, let's go straight to Capitol Hill and speak with Democratic Congressman Tom Suozzi of New York. Congressman, great to see you. Thank you for joining us. President Biden today already indicating he would sign this aid to allies as soon as it gets to his desk. Do you support these bills?
I absolutely support them. I was in Ukraine about 2 weeks ago. They're freaking out. There are people there that are desperate. They're so anxious because they're running out of ammunition. And we just saw terrible attacks that killed people yesterday. We saw destruction of more energy plants. We have to get this done. The Japanese Prime Minister was here speaking to Congress about a week ago, and he said the U.S. is the indispensable nation. And most everybody in Congress supports this. It's just some far-right radicals of the chaos caucus, as we call them, that are holding this up.
Yeah, Congressman, especially since your trip to Kiev, you've been very vocal about the need to push support to Ukraine quickly. Do you get the sense that this Ukraine bill in particular can get enough support to pass this weekend?
I absolutely believe we can. There's going to be a lot of outfall from this, with some members of the Republican caucus saying they're going to try and oust Michael Johnson. So I've called on my Democratic colleagues to say, listen, let's not them control our caucus, this small group of people. Let's get Democrats to support Johnson. Even though I disagree with Johnson on so many different issues, we can't let them hold the United States Congress and America and the world hostage to their radical agenda.
Yeah, just to explain to our viewers, these hardline Republicans who you've called the Chaos Caucus, they have warned that they would trigger a motion to remove the Speaker of the House from his position if these aid bills come to a vote. You said in the past you would support him. You say you will now. Do you get the sense that enough of your fellow Democrats would do so as well to keep him as Speaker?
I'm confident that if Johnson does the right thing, which it appears he's going to do, and puts these on the floor, more Democrats will come to his aid to stop Marjorie Taylor Greene and Matt Gaetz and the others, Tom Massey, from kicking him out.
You have, of course, looked at this bill as it was released today. You were recently in Kiev, as you mentioned. Does it include what you think Ukraine needs to be able to fend off a possible Russian offensive?
Yes, I think that, all of the cynics who say that, how can Ukraine win are the same people that said they wouldn't win the first few days of the war, that the Russians would just roll over them. They're the same people that said that Great Britain would get wiped out by the Germans in 1939. They're the same people that said that the Americans would lose to Britain in 1776. So we can't be skeptics. We have to accept the fact that the Ukrainian people are totally motivated, that they've got what it takes. And they, with our help and the rest of the Western world, can beat back Putin and the Russians.
Of course, it's not just Ukraine. These are aid bills that would support Israel, the Indo-Pacific as well. What do you think of this tactic from the House Speaker to split this legislation up into separate bills? Do you think that is a good way forward?
I'm not going to second guess what he did. Many of us wanted to just see us vote on the Senate bill that was already overwhelmingly approved on a bipartisan basis. But I think the Speaker, in order to get this through the Rules Committee, which will require only a majority of votes as opposed to a supermajority, needed to do this. So, I'm going to support whatever effort he makes so we can get this done.
Are you confident, Congressman, that there is broad support also among Americans, among voters, for the U.S. providing such significant aid to allies abroad?
I do believe there is, and we just need to do a better job to keep on educating people, and we can't let the disinformation coming out from our strategic adversaries like Russia and the Communist Chinese Party and Iran and others who are trying to spread disinformation in the United States, certainly throughout Europe, Eastern Europe especially, and other parts of the world. We can't let that disinformation campaign infect what we know is the right thing to do.
Congressman Tom Suozzi, great to have you on the show today. Thank you so much for joining us.